There we go.
Here we go. Welcome back, everyone, to the Off Rift podcast. It's been a while, but here we are for episode number 18. I'm Mercury. I'm joined by Vestion. MSI has come and gone, and we are only a few days away from the start of Split 3. Remember, as always, you can submit your burning questions and your hot takes to the answering machine, and we'll get around to them. But a lot has happened in the past month and a half. But how you been?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. A lot of overseas exploring, but obviously keeping up with all that's happened in League because it didn't stop at all. It just continued to go with different event after different event, and it's been good, man. It's been good. There's a lot happening, so very exciting.
Yeah, obviously, we got the MSI stuff to recap. Obviously, lots of roster changes for Split 3, some new information about the promo series, and then obviously Split 3 itself, with all the wackiness of its format. The fact that it's so short, all things considered. But I guess we can jump right into the whole MSI of it all. We'll start with DCG, and that's probably all we need to talk about them.
Yeah, all right, that's done.
Yeah, that's
Nah,
done. They were there at the event. No, they had some moments. It's some moments, but they
yeah.
couldn't get
Look,
much more than that.
I think the one positive takeaway from DCG is at least they went there and played their game. You know, they
Yeah,
were still very hyper aggressive, and it didn't work. They got absolutely smashed, but they didn't just go there and bleed out slowly and lose. You know, they went there and they went out swinging, and that's all I could really ask for because ultimately, very inexperienced team. Even regionally, right? They finished the regular season in at fifth. They're not really expected to even make it to MSI, and credit to them, they did. And they go to MSI and they get absolutely smashed by very tough competition. And I think there's no shame in that. They did well to get there in the first place, and they should pat themselves on the back. But as far as the results come, about as expected. But they at least played their game.
yeah. I mean, especially with only one team progressing from the playing stage. I think we all. I mean, we said last episode we pretty much expected the results to go as
It
they
was
did.
always T1.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
always going
it
to be
was
T1.
always T1. Yeah, you put
But I think
LCK in the play-ins, man. The
yeah,
LCK is coming out of the play-ins.
yeah, no, 100%. And I think that, like you mentioned, they played their style. I think had the rest of the wildness that was the main stage of the event not happened, people would come away from that going, "Damn, I'm actually excited to play to watch DCG play." Right? They had that fire in them, and it just it didn't manifest into a win against TL or against KC, but they didn't get anything against T1. And yeah, that was their first showing for a lot of them on the international stage, full stop. I think it was basically all but Shousey, right?
Correct. Yeah, because Chelsea's been international before. No one else has.
Yeah. And even he had, he's only had a few games international on, I think it was CFO in the past. So,
Yep.
yeah. Overall, though, I hope that they'll take that into Split 3 because I think that they're probably going to make Worlds. I don't see anyone contesting. Maybe GARM, right? Maybe GARM, maybe SHG can contend, but I think there's a pretty high likelihood that DCG is going to qualify for Worlds. I just hope that they've taken.
I have
from
inside
it.
information, man. There's
Oh,
absolutely no way GZ don't make Worlds.
oh,
I can't leak anything, but there's absolutely no chance.
oh.
There's
Okay,
absolutely no chance GZ do not make Worlds. You can quote me on
interesting.
this. It is already locked in
All
in
right.
my mind. There's
Well,
absolutely no fucking way.
Miro's in the chat, so Miro can make sure that information is definitely not taken out of context if they fall short.
They will
But
not.
okay,
They're. I'll be honest. I think they got the experience of MSI, but as they stated on socials, they got zero scrims. I
yeah,
actually think that they got nothing out of this MSI. Not
yeah,
to they
probably,
got a bit of stage experience, but they didn't get anything out of this MSI. So I don't actually think it helps them for Split 3. What helps is the championship points. That
yeah,
does help. In terms of their qualification, but I think out of anyone, GARM got the most help over this off season with EWC.
yeah,
Being over there, I think they probably got at least our scrim, and if they got at least our scrim, they got more help than DCG did. So, I think honestly, coming into Split 3, I would expect Team Secret Wales will qualify, GZ will qualify, and then who will it be as the third? I'm leaning towards GARM as it stands. I think MVK can be surprising with all their rookies. Obviously, they had a really good showing already in Split 2, didn't quite make it, but there was a lot of promise there. I still don't think they're really going to contest for it. But I actually do not think DCG makes Worlds. I really do
Wow,
not think
okay.
so.
Even without Eris, you think that Garm's going to beat them?
Yeah, I mean, Glory was playing pretty well at EWC.
Okay, I didn't tune in for the event, so I'm not exactly sure how that. I know that they beat, was it Carmine or is it Koi? I forgot.
Mhm.
One of those
In
European
Koi,
teams.
yeah.
Yeah. I know they
did
beat
not
one of
beat
them and
Kirsty.
then lost the rest of their games to T1, I think. So
Yeah, they lost two games against 2 series against T1. Yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
hey, I mean that was a pretty difficult group. It was like what T1 BLG
Mhm.
and Koi, so they were almost always going to get.
They beat the
third in
team that you didn't know who would win. So
Yeah, true.
I'm happy with that.
I mean, the results of that entire tournament didn't exactly go as anyone expected. I don't think anyone put KC in the finals. I don't think anyone put D plus Key in the finals, especially after the whole controversy with their unpaid salaries. But I guess Showmaker was playing like his salary depended on it, because it did. They got 600 grand or something from that, so maybe they get another split out of it. But I think they're going to get sold for next year. But that's enough about DCG and about KC. We need to talk about Team Secret Wales, because
Yeah,
they had a pretty solid performance against Hanwha, which I mean, Hanwha had a bit of a rougher tournament considering they won. I think we could probably agree, going 5 games against Lion, Pun's Volibear, he was doing really good and then got caught that mid fight and lost everything from there. But
yeah, your evaluation on this seems off. I think they did not have a good showing against Hanwha. Pun had a good showing against Hanwha.
Yeah, true.
I think the team as a whole did not look that good at all, but they had Pun on Volibear that was absolutely fisting. And to be honest, even his lane was looking really good, except he was 1-5, and then one random fight he got 4 shutdowns, and he was really hard to deal with.
It was like a 2-minute long fight bot or something. Yes, it was crazy.
And they got 5 shutdowns. But then from that, the Hanwha then bought shield cut and heal cut, and he was cooked. So
I will say, he definitely showed up.
They had a good showing at all.
Someone definitely didn't.
Funded.
I was gonna say Eddie. Eddie did not show up that series. He went 0-3-15 across those 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, the nature of his champs, though, in fairness, to be honest, I don't want to look too much into the series against LCK first seed. I don't think we're not actually contesting that region. If it was CFO, for example, maybe there's a slight discussion, CFO 2025. I mean, but I think for Team Secret Wales, man, we're looking to try and compete against NA and LEC. So I think comparing to LCK right now is just not worth it, because I mean, too inexperienced. We're not at that level yet. They didn't do very well against Hanwha, except for Pun, and Pun deserves credit for the performance he was able to put on. And honestly, for the majority of the tournament, Pun was that sort of star for the team. But in general, I think this was a bad tournament for everyone outside of Pun. Histo had some good moments, but I think that's mostly it, really. Outside of that, I'd say they perform generally worse than they do domestically. However, that also comes with a caveat, as they're versing better players than they are domestically, so it's much harder.
I mean, that's fair. I think as we get into the second series as well, it was taking down TS 3-1. I know that some people will meme about TS being bad or chokers or whatever, but it was genuinely awesome, especially in the moment, watching Kevin's stream and all that kind of stuff, to just see people so excited for this to happen. It's never happened before. We've never taken down the LPL. Even Legacy failed against LGD, right? Going back so many years, every single time an APAC team has tried, they've just never been able to do it.
If I did it last year
in the best of 5.
Oh, right, best of 5.
Yeah.
Wait, well, yeah, no, not a best of 5.
Yeah.
But what are the series we had? I don't even remember all the series we had last year. But we beat LPL, and this was about
AL,
VCS.
There was AL. It was 5 games.
I'm pretty sure there's been times where the PCS has taken down LPL, but the VCS has never done it. It was the VCS that's never done it.
They might have. I'm not sure. I don't have the full stats in front of me. But even still, it was an amazing accomplishment to see. I think that, especially, we got to see the set pop off. That was something that we've seen all throughout.
That was so sick.
Oh, and they proved TS did not look at the VODs. If they looked to split one finals, they would have seen, do not give this guy set into Sion. You will regret it for the rest of your life. But
Especially when it's sort of later on down the games, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think if it was like a game 1 Scion, he's probably not just locking set into it. But when you're at game 4 and there's so many champs taken off, you may as well. And this is why I've always said, like, and most people agree, as you go through Fearless, the later in the draft, sort of the games you get, second pick becomes far more valuable because
Mm.
you start to lose those powerful picks that don't really care about matchup, and then you have to start caring about matchup, so that counter pick goes up in value by quite a substantial amount.
Yeah. I think just statistically the event wasn't great. It was like 3-10 total for us. But I
Mhm.
think that, Histo looked relatively strong, at least compared to first stand. Giving
Yeah.
giving that caveat. I think D-Ray had some good performances as well. And then they went up against Lion. I wished it was a lot closer than it was.
Mhm.
I think there were
Me too.
definitely moments where they could have taken a game or two. But considering this Lion team then went to 5 against Hanwha after 3-0ing G2, I'm not terribly, we lost to Hanwha and Lion in this tournament. So it's not anything to be, too disappointed, all things considered. It's not like we lost to Furia or something. That
We
would have been...
lost to probably I mean, along Lion and G2 were the weakest teams we could have lost to, and we lost to one of them. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good
Oh,
performance. I think the thing
yeah.
about top esports is like the thing about that series, it was like it sort of reminded me of CFO last year, because like I had that hope that like we lost to Hanwha at first stand, and then we beat
Yeah.
teams top esports at first stand. It's like maybe this is like a confidence thing. Maybe now we'll get to see Team Secret Wales not go on the same trajectory, but a stronger trajectory because of the sort of, okay, we've finally got over this hurdle of winning an international series. Now we could see a bit more confidence, but clearly that wasn't the case. They went back into their next series against Lion and got absolutely fucking trounced, just completely demolished.
Yeah.
And they looked very lost the whole time. Ultimately, I think that series, when you look at it sort of man to man, it's not a bad sort of series for us, because Histo is probably the best player in terms of consistency on Team Secret Wales in general, and Pun, a very, very strong top laner, which is, most people would agree, I imagine, that Lion's weakest point tends to be Dockler. Not that he's a weak player at all, but just that, there's some big names elsewhere. And we saw early on in this tournament that Dockler was struggling in his first series. So there was an avenue there, I think, where if Pun was playing as well that series as he was in the series prior against Top Esports, where maybe there was an avenue, maybe not to win the series, but to at least take some games. The fact that we didn't take some games, I think, is very disappointing.
Yeah.
I think at least taking a game would inspire more hope, because now I just look at this sort of tournament and think, well, like Team Secret Wales had a good series against Top Esports, but Top Esports had a terrible tournament. So how much of
Yeah.
it was was Team Secret Wales being good, and how much of it was Top being bad? And I think evidence would tend to point towards the Top Esports being bad rather than Team Secret Wales being good, which sucks. But again, they've got over the hurdle of getting a win. They've got over the Vietnamese hurdle of getting a win against the
True.
LPL. So it is still a great achievement. And they still should very much be proud. But I think, like, in contextualizing for what we're looking at Worlds, it's not a good sign.
Yeah. And not the first time it's happened to Jackie Love either, with the Gum, Karthus. The flashbacks were definitely getting to him, I think. But I think that we saw the meta obviously evolve over the course of MSI. We saw those mage bot lanes coming in, we saw the Ziggs and everything, and then we saw the counters to that being just like the mega tanks of like Sion and Mundo in the front line, because you just don't have any consistent DPS to stop them from doing their thing. I'm trying to think, like, do we have many bot laners in the league who will be able to like utilize that going into split 3, assuming that the meta doesn't have any drastic changes?
I have to. I mean, it's the same
Yeah.
as, when was it, like season 8, maybe? I can't remember when it was, but Vladimir all of a sudden became the best AD carry
Yeah, I
champ in
think
the
it was
game, and
season
then
8,
you
yeah.
had to adapt, and if you didn't adapt, you were falling behind. So I don't know how good they will be. I don't know. Like, Karkun might become randomly the best AD carry in the league because he is a mid laner. He is.
True.
He roll swap to AD carry from mid, so he's going to be comfortable at least on the picks. So it will be interesting in that regard. But they're going to have to adapt, because that's the only option they really have, unless Riot makes some changes, which I imagine they will, simply because in the past, going back to that season 8 sort of reference, they don't really like the meta when it is these mages and bot, and it's only these mages and bot, and so they tend to change it pretty quickly.
I think we've had a fair amount of diversity though in the bot lane. Though I don't think it's like solely dominated by the mages. Obviously, there's the Caitlyn that's popping off. There's Ezreal and MF. There's sort of those like caster carry, like AD carry sort of situation. Like there are still some AD carries that are being played, but yeah, they've definitely taken over a fair amount of that's for sure. We've got our first question coming in from Miro. What do we think about what do we think TSW could improve at internationals? I don't know. I mean, I think it's just refining those like little bits. I think definitely the bot side has to step up a little bit, but I don't know any specific ways how.
I mean, ultimately, it's just going to take time. I think.
Yeah.
Right? They don't really have that much experience on the roster, so you can't really expect them to come in and sort of know what they're doing in terms of reading a meta. Importantly, like getting a good meta read ahead of the tournament is very hard to do, and it's something that typically LEC's best at. But we're not very good at that. We're also individually not as good as the hard hitters from LCK or LPL, and so not only do we sort of fall behind in terms of our meta strength, we also aren't quite as mechanically solid, and the teamwork's not quite there either. So I think when you look at that in its totality, and it's like, okay, well, everything's kind of lacking. All it takes is a bit more experience, time together, playing, and you can get to that point. Remember, they are very young players. They're
Yeah.
not on a timer of any stretch of the imagination. They could find their success next year, the year after. It doesn't matter. They got the time, and you can use the fact that you're already so good that you can get to these internationals now as a starting point to continue to improve. I think that's what it'll take. It'll just take time. Working together, I think having someone like Warhorse at the helm is going to help so much because he's such a successful coach. So that success stems from something, right? So he clearly knows what he's doing. And working together with him for not only just 1 year, but continuing to do so could be very beneficial for them.
Yeah, I mean between them and DCG, I think they were like six or something of the eight youngest players at the tournament. It was crazy just like seeing how many rookies are coming out of the LCP, and like between
Yeah.
them and MVK as
Which,
well, right? Like actually
which by
seeing
the
this rookie
way,
talent.
is a really good sign for the LCP in
Yeah.
3 years' time, right?
Oh
Because
yeah.
eventually players retire and go on to do other things, coaching,
Mm.
content, whatever. But when you're that young, you've got a lot of years ahead of you in comparison to, I mean, like Faker is the most obvious example, right? He's touching on 30 now, and how
Mm.
much longer can he continue his success? And maybe it's a long time, who knows? But theoretically, he probably doesn't have a massive amount of years left of being an absolute top pro.
Yeah.
In terms of a player, and of course, a player like him has so much knowledge, will be able to move on to other aspects. But the fact we have such young talent means we've got many years to develop and become a really heavy hitting region.
Yeah, I mean Eddie as well. Like he indicated, it might be his last split after Worlds, depending on how that goes. So there's definitely some players that are going to need to be replaced in that regard if they do retire. Obviously, Carson and Levy earlier in the year. But I guess we can sort of transition that into like those big roster changes for Split 3. Obviously, we talked about RS and GZ knocked out their entire bot side. We are hearing rumors, and obviously, take it with a grain of salt, because nothing has actually fully been confirmed yet. But the rumors are for Uniboy, Betty, and Kaiwing in that bot side. So they'll be a pretty strong, if they can, if Husha can improve, I think, in the jungle, I think that's possibly a world's making team.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the team, they're like a very strong roster,
Mm.
right? I mean, Betty is probably. I mean, obviously we haven't seen him play in or almost a year, but at least last year, even when PSG weren't overly successful, they weren't not successful, but they weren't as successful as you'd probably hope out of a roster like that.
Mm.
But he was still probably, for my estimation, at least domestically, the best AD carry we had in the region. Just based on like his team wasn't as good as CFO, but him as an individual, if they won the game, it was typically off the back of Betty. Like most 9 times out of 10, when PSG won, it was Betty that sort of got them that win. So he's obviously a very good AD carry. Whether or not he's still good, who knows? And then Kaiwing, I mean, he's just, I guess, a voice, right? He's a
Yeah.
very solid leader. So if that ends up being the roster, then I mean it's a solid foundation, and it probably helps with sort of people like Yi Jung, already very mechanically skilled, but not necessarily the most experienced of players, and having sort of some mentors can not only help for like just Split 3 in specific, but for the future of their careers. So I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. Absolutely will. And I mean, if they don't make Worlds, there's a very real chance they might be contesting for the promotion series as well. We got some more
Mhm.
info on that. It's going to be in November, and it'll be held in Vietnam. I like that it's a road show. I'm not a huge fan of it being so late in the year because
Mhm.
in the chance a team does promote, it does not give them a whole lot of time at all to get their team, potentially move them to Taiwan and do all the,
Bro,
you
it's
know,
a yeah.
business stuff, because that's just, yeah.
That's that's a fucking rough gig. That
I
is a
remember
really rough gig.
talking to Bo
And not
in
only that, by
Taipei
the
about
way,
like how much work it took for him to get GZ over there. It was crazy.
yeah, but not only that, you got to remember, like, let's say, I don't know, let's say MVK, just random example, like end up in the VCS slot of relegation, right? That's an extra 2 months
Hmm.
of having to pay the player and facilitate the
Yeah.
players that the roster then has to cop, right? Whereas it's different when you're going to like Worlds or something because you're getting paid to go to Worlds.
Yeah.
Whereas for a promotion relegation slot, you're not receiving money, you're risking losing everything, which is a pretty rough gig to put on the orgs, I think. So I agree. I think it should probably be earlier, closer to the end of the LCP. And it was last year.
It
It
was
was
before
like the week
Worlds. Yeah.
after. Yeah, it was like the week after because I remember I got back from Vietnam and pretty much had like 2 days. Um, oh no, sorry, I went to Vietnam and then I went to Korea for 4 days, and I came back the day before I had to cast for the promotion
Hmm.
relegation. So it was like the turnaround was super quick. It was like a week, whereas now it's like 2 months, man. It's a long time, and I think it's because of Asian games, is what I've heard. But
Oh,
that
okay.
still seems like yeah, I don't know. It feels rough to try and first of all, whoever promotes have to make that turnaround in time, especially for a VCS team, by the way, because
Hmm.
it's very hard for those guys to even get visas to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
So if a VCS team takes MVK slot, like fuck, man, good luck setting that up in 2 months.
Hmm.
Um, and then for anyone else, I mean, like OS, whoever goes from OS is probably going to be orgless. So like, bro, that's gonna take some like help from Riot probably to be able to get that set up, like find a buyer or whatever it may be. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like a pretty tight schedule, a very tight schedule.
Yeah. So a little bit more information as well for people who aren't 100% knowledgeable on the promotion series. Up to 3 teams will be defending their spot. So probably DFM unless some miracle happens, and then either likely probably GZ MVK unless GZ places higher than DCG. But if both,
GZ are going to finals, mate. It's definitely not.
oh,
They're
okay,
going to Worlds. I'm telling you
okay.
now. They're going to
If
Worlds. So it'll be
if
DCG.
both DCG and GZ make it to Worlds, then it'll only be 2 because obviously
Two, correct.
CFO's partner slot and there's a whole situation there. So it's everything is on the line this split for GZ. So I'm glad they made these changes, recognizing, hey, we actually like now is the time we've got to make something happen.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think like again, as I said, like DCG in my estimation got nothing out of this MSI.
Hmm.
They went in,
Yeah.
got 0-6, didn't get any scrims. Like, what are you learning from that? To be honest, like, what are you actually
Yeah.
learning from
They were
that?
there for like 3
Very
days or
little.
something.
Yeah. So I don't think they got anything out of this, and like I think it was kind of a miracle in the first place they made it to MSI, to be honest. Like, and I think the only thing helping them is championship points. I think that definitely does help them. So that might be their way of getting in. So like, let's say Team Secret Wales qualify first, GZ second, then they might just get in because of championship points because they came second both splits. So that's quite a lot. But we'll have to see how that plays out because ultimately, a team like Garm could go 3-0 in the Swiss stage, and all of a sudden they've got fucking heaps of championship points.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's still anyone's ball game, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know if DCG will be going to Worlds personally.
Honestly, I think the more anomalous part of the year was the 5th. I think everything else was DCG at full strength. So I'm a little bit on the page of that regular season. Not that it didn't matter, but that was
You
not.
think you think
Yeah,
the 5 weeks of games was more anomalous than the 2 weeks of games?
the 2 weeks plus
You
the
think it?
entirety of split 1. Yeah.
Yeah, but Split One's a whole different story because they came in as a team with 1 year of experience. So they were a team that were together for 1 year. So they had by far the biggest advantage coming into Split One. Out of every team, they had the exact same roster as they had for the entirety of 2025. So coming into Split One, they had the biggest advantage out of everyone because they didn't have to work out how to operate as a team. They already had done that. And so they had a good Split One. and they had a shocking split 2 until playoffs, and then they looked good in playoffs. And now we're in split 3. So every team's had, almost a year to work together outside of those who are making roster swaps. But they've lost that edge they had. And I think, like, bro, yeah, at least in my estimation, Fung has done nothing but sort of get worse throughout the split, throughout the year, right? And like when they did win, it was off the back of coin flips from 665, which admittedly, when he does do well, he does very well. But I think he's also very easy to work out. I mean, we saw people just banning 580 junglers against him. And then he was just lost. It was 580 junglers. He picks Trundle blind, and it just looks terrible. So I mean, like this team, if anyone watches VODs, can work this team out because they live and die by what 665 can do. And if you take them off what he can do stuff on, they're cooked. At least that's my opinion. And like Florin as well came into a random surge of massive, like really really good like top lane play in the playoffs. The entire year he was really bad at laning, and then in playoffs of split 2 he was fucking phenomenal. Which I don't know if you can, that has to be considered an outlier too. So I think I look at the split more as a weighting of how DCG look than I look at the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because all the playoffs take is like, you beat SHG and Garm, right? That was their trajectory, I think?
Yeah, SHG, Garm, Team 2 Wales, they took them to 5.
They lost to Team 2 Wales twice. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, you won 2 series, but you've also, like, the split went really, really poorly. So I don't think I can just gloss over the split and be like, oh yeah, this is the normal DCG strength. When, I mean, bro, you have Fung dying 8 times in lane. Like that is just unacceptable. And that's something that you can't just ignore, I don't think.
Fung is definitely, and even like Xiaoxi at MSI didn't, again, it was only 6 games. They didn't have a lot of scrim time, but didn't look at that strength that we've seen him before. So yeah, I'll have to see how this team does. Speaking of the promo pathway as well, we're back. Oceania has a full-on pathway now. Flash, being run by Wrecked and Locke. You did a little bit of a video, sort of the thing for that. You told me a little bit beforehand. You're like, I can't say anything, but something big's coming. So I was like, I was excited. For those of you who didn't see it, it is I think 20,000 Australian dollar prize pool. The LAN is at Fortress Melbourne, which is amazing. I love that. And it's, I think, 2 weeks of open qualifiers in August. And then the finals is the week after Split 3 finals concludes.
I think it's 2 weeks of open qualifiers and then the quarterfinal semifinals and then the finals is live the next week. So it's like 3 weeks or 4 weeks in total, I think, from memory. I have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure it's 4 weeks in total. But yeah, no, very exciting. I mean, it's cool we just have anything back. Like we had the OPQ, and this is similar to the OPQ in terms of sort of the time frame, but this time it has a prize pool. This time it has a live finals.
Yeah.
And it has some backing of like people in the field.
People Rex done a lot of good work in like CS and all that. So I'm excited to see how they can bring it over to League, obviously. In the announcements, I will say, seeing like Skimmy and all that, it just brought something back in me, man. I miss those days of the LCO and the OPL. So I'm glad we have something.
I saw one of the Twitter comments, man, and it was like, "Oh, it's Skinny." Bro's like excited to see him and got his name wrong. Like,
That's
come
crazy.
on, man. Yo, it's Skinny.
Unbelievable.
No, bro, it's Skimmy. How do you fuck that up?
Messing with the heroes of the Storm Goat right there. You can't do that.
Yeah, legit. But no, yeah, it was cool. It was because when I did my video was when I did the filming for my video, whatever. It was the day I think before they ended up getting Skimmy, but they told me about getting Skimmy, and I was like, yeah, that's a fucking sick idea.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they're looking at doing that, and I really think it makes sense as well because it's just like, I mean, that's the guy that carried the LCO torch for a long time, and he deserves his credit, and so I'm really, really glad he was part of that.
It was awesome to see. Hopefully we have something full on like a PCS or a VCS next year, but obviously that hasn't been confirmed or anything. But you can sign up for the open qualifiers. It's still up. I believe it's flashesports.gg. So if any of you guys are interested in putting a team together or something like that, maybe you can compete for a spot at the LCP promo series. That'd be pretty exciting to see. But yeah, I think it's just awesome. I really miss, like, I went to both of the DreamHack finals for the LCO, and just seeing all the crowds there was just it was incredible. I made some lifelong friends there. I can't wait to see it back.
Yeah, no, it is very cool. Very happy it's happening again. And I'm excited to see who puts their name forward, whether new players, old players, whatever. It's a very exciting thing to sort of look out for.
Yeah, 100%. But I guess that's all well and good. But we've got games coming up, starting this weekend as well. We've got Split 3 starting back up. It's full best of 3
Saturday.
Swiss stage, except for the elimination and progression matches. They'll be best of 5. And it's the grand finals. It's like 6 weeks long, including the finals, which will be.
It's a fucking speed run, bud.
We're speed run. It's crazy. Team Two Wales gets no break. They got home from Paris like last night probably, and now they're gonna have to rest a few days before playing again. Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm excited though.
Yep.
Finals live in the Taipei Heping Basketball Gymnasium.
There you go.
And I'll see you there.
The Taipei Heping Basketball Gymnasium, baby.
And I'll see you there. I'll be there in person. I can't wait.
Yeah, nice. No, that's
like
a good
7,000 capacity or something like that, right in the heart of Taipei. Oh, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's a cool place. It's very exciting. Obviously, this would be third year of Taipei Heping Basketball Gymnasium finals. Obviously, split by the Vietnamese one last year.
You count MSI
but yeah,
finals?
going to be exciting. See what? Sorry.
Do you count MSI finals as well?
No, I'm counting the regional ones.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes, and then it'll be exciting, and I'm sure hopefully this time, because obviously I went to the Vietnamese one, the one in Vietnam. I'm really hoping this time there's more teams organize more for their booths, because the one thing that was the booths for the teams were kind of empty. Not all of them were empty. CFO had a lot of random stuff for towels and just a bunch of random merch for CFO. And it was all given away. And Garm was selling some shirts and stuff, but I think every team, assuming Riot give them a booth, should really dig into trying to sell some of their merch, because we have some pretty cool merch in this region, man. And so fans will buy it, So I really hope to see when they are there that there will be more of that.
DFM's they've got to get their last little bits out of the factory before they get demoted. So we'll have to see if they can get a little bit more from that. But our first week of matches, we start things off Saturday. It's only 2 days this week, and I think for the entirety of the first 3 rounds, and then once we get into the rest, I think there's a Thursday in there as well. It's crazy how many days we're going to be covering later in this split, but we're starting off with GZ versus MVK, which I'm really excited for, especially this new look GZ going up against the rookies who have continued to improve. And then we've got Hawks going up against Team Secret Wales. So one of those teams that I think definitely fell short in Split 2 compared to where they looked in the regular season, where they looked in Split 1. Maybe this is their chance to actually make a run for Worlds. It'd be cool to see Evie back.
Yeah, I have low expectations. I think I haven't seen enough out of Hawks to have full confidence, but the ceiling is there. The ceiling definitely is there. I mean, Evie, when he's on his game, is a phenomenal player. Arya obviously is pretty much always a really phenomenal player, and it's about sort of making or having the success, or the what is the word? Consistency, I guess. The consistency of height of play for the entirety of the split, which they've struggled to find. And so hopefully this split they're able to do it, because it's really nice watching them. It's really fun to watch them when they are all sort of firing at the same time.
Yeah. And then Sunday we've got DFM going up against Garm, probably a 2-0. And then CFO DCG. I'm quite excited for that overall, but I think DCG will probably still take it. I think over the course of this year, they've just looked a step above CFO at every single moment, even with Fung looking, I'd say, worse overall.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on if CFO have a different roster or not, right? I actually don't know if they've changed anything or not, but, I imagine a team like CFO probably want to make Worlds, and I don't think they do with their current roster. But if they keep the same roster, I think DCG just win. To be honest, it is what it is.
Because I think I don't want to. Let me have a look at the championship points real quick, just to see exactly where everyone is. Because I think, Team Squirrel's got 86. They are almost guaranteed for Worlds, no matter what. They would have to completely
they're fucking locked in, man.
Yeah, they would have to completely bomb out overall.
Yeah, no, Team Secret Wales are in. You can just consider them at Worlds already.
So they're going to qualify. GARM is 10 points behind DCG at the moment, 46 and 36. And then it's sort of a drop off a cliff. We've got 22 for Hawks, 21 for MVK, 11 for GZ, 5 for CFO, and 0 for DFM. But all the points in Split 3, I think they're doubled or something like that in the event. And then obviously there's a massive amount of points gained for not only the placement in Swiss stage, but also the third place team in playoffs gets an additional 15 because the top 2 automatically qualify. So still a lot of, pretty much nothing is absolutely confirmed.
I think the only reason to care about championship points is if Team Secret Wales wins the split, which they probably will. But for now, we can just assume Team Secret Wales will win championship points. And then it feels like everyone else is close enough, mostly, that it just depends who comes third, probably gets enough, because or who goes 3-0 in Swiss, because you get a fucking retarded, like a completely ridiculous amount of points. It's like 50 or something,
it's
right?
50,
for coming
50
3-0.
points.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. So it's like, that's DFM. If DFM get that, they automatically just slingshot up to like third or something.
If they got this and then everyone else didn't win, they'd be in second place.
Yeah, it's so, bro. Yeah. But Team Secret Wales probably will go 3-0. I mean, it depends. Like maybe they have a random collapse, but it's not likely. They are the best team in our region, so I would be very surprised if they didn't go 3-0. And then it's just sort of what other team, because is it only one team goes 3-0? Two teams go 3-0.
I think, 2 teams, and then I think there's like a decider match or something to figure out seeding. There's a whole graphic that they did on the exact qualification method, to be honest, that kind of stuff. But
reading these posts about the format has always been so confusing.
I need it visualized in front of me.
Yes. So the word mumbo jumbo just confuses me every single time, man.
It's like when I was reading the promotion, like trying to understand that. I was trying to get it through my mind, and then I realized, this is exactly what it meant, but it just wasn't said in the most dumbed down of words. But that's just on me as well.
Like the VCS, PCS having their own.
Yeah.
To be honest, like hindsight, Andy, but I think that should have been a thing from the beginning, because I think if you look at the infrastructure that exists for PCS and VCS, and then every single other region, it is normal that the free-for-all slot every single year is going to be taken by one of them. And so it was always going to eventuate into 4 VCS or 4 PCS teams and SHG.
Yeah.
Like that was what it was going to be, man, eventually. And maybe like the scales would tip so hard that it would be like 5 VCS teams and, like 5 VCS, SHG and 2 PCS, or like that's a genuine thing that could happen. But it was like the chances of, Oceania or Southeast Asia qualifying into that is so low because we don't have infrastructure that they do,
I hope that, oh, you go.
I was just going to say, I think this should have probably been a thing from the beginning, but again, that's hindsight, Andy. Like at the beginning, I didn't think of that either. But like, it makes sense, really. Now, sort of, that you look back on it and look at how the state of the ecosystem is. That this is probably going to happen. Yeah,
I hope that we do eventually move to 10 teams, minimum 10 teams. I think the 8, and this is the same problem for the LCS as well. Like going into the MSI third place match, I was thinking to myself, like, if they win this, if they can actually take it home 3-1 like they were going to, that there is that's half of the LCS going to World. Like
that would be awesome.
Yeah,
that would be so funny
as well. I would have called Trump rigging it at that point. After what he did with FIFA, I would have called it.
I just man, it would have been so funny to have NA get 4 slots. Like just the internet would have been so good for that day, man. To be honest.
And then they would have completely bombed out in Swiss as well. That'd be the funniest part.
Yeah. Oh, I wish it happened. I genuinely do wish it happened, but it didn't. I mean, not really surprising, but it is what it is.
I will say though, there is a spark of positivity from MSI. We placed the exact same as T1. So therefore we are as good as T1. I'm going to take that going into this. And look, we had Noshiak player in the top 3. We had an
That is
Oceanic
true.
player. We had
No,
two
your
OPL
point about
players.
the T1 is
Two.
stupid, but LCO came third.
Yes.
Oceania came third. That's the point.
Not even LCO. Two OPL players. Two players who have never played in the LCO. Only OPL players have made it to the top 3 at an international event. Never before in history has an Australian player or an OPL player gotten that far. So I will take that.
Yeah. I mean, you have to. That is what it is.
Yeah.
That's facts. That's facts and logic.
Yeah. You cannot argue with that, NA. You owe everything to us.
True.
No,
you got some mad comments when you said I can't remember exactly, but you said something about, or someone said something about how it was Oceania, and they're like about how Doc was from Oceania, and people were not. Someone was not happy with that.
They always do that. I'm like, we claim him. He started his career here, basically. I've still got my Sin shirt. I'll count it. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they can do. Maybe Isles can do some work in Split 3 as well. I heard that there's changes coming to Lion though, so I'm not too confident in that regard.
Yeah, that brother went like 0-400 on Camille.
Oh man, that was rough, the Camille game. But then he had that really good Pike game.
Yeah, that was against us, man. Fuck that
guy. No, I think it was against Hanwei. He had that like really, really insane Pike game with the Aurora top that he just like. I think it was game 4 against Hanwei, if I'm not mistaken, and they almost won off of that, and then inspired through the entire thing because he always throws versus the East. But oh well, not like us. We actually beat the West. We actually beat the East, unlike Lions. So take that, North America.
I have a feeling they would have beaten teams at Top Esports too. No. To be honest,
no.
I think Top Esports shouldn't have been, but were the worst team in the actual bracket of MSI.
Worse than Furia.
I think so, man. Furia like almost beat Lion in 2 games. Top Esports beat us in 1 game, and that was that. That was all they did.
True.
Every game they lost was a absolute stomp.
Yeah, fair enough. We got a final question coming in from Miro. Who do you think will pick Locke first in the LCP? Because Locke, I believe, will be enabled on the next patch. I'm quite excited to see him. I think Aria.
I don't know, man.
I think it's sort of like an Aria champion. Yeah,
it's a D-Ray champ. That guy loves his meal.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Honestly though, I kind of tried it. I tried it bot lane. I tried Locke bot lane, and it actually was really fun.
The Locke's just fun. That's just because he's OP.
True.
Because he was released in 2026.
Yeah. No, he has.
I played
Flex
with a rider yesterday, and I had to keep flaming him because he was like telling me stories about like I can't remember. They're like doing their little game jam thing. I'm like, yeah, you can tell you guys don't do any work. Trust me, I look at the patches. Just letting him know. How do we release Locke? Yeah. How do we think we'll give an assassin? Calm Kinch W. This will be great.
And the scaling execute on the ultimate.
Yeah. Nothing more fun to me than almost killing Locke and his entire health bar reappears. That is what I find the most fun.
That's League of Legends. Oh, this classic nonsense. This is the modern era.
Locke. No, that's just Locke. It's really pisses me off, actually. Really pisses me off.
That's coming out next week, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, my mid laner better use an ability on the blue buff, otherwise I'm dying to that thing. Someone better attack the blue buff, otherwise I'm dying to it. You can't kill it.
I started playing in Season 5, so I remember some of it, like, getting second blue buff and all that kind of stuff, and the mana problems mid lane.
Season 5, the mid lane auto-attacking your blue buff wasn't a thing. That was a season.
I missed that, yeah.
Ended in Season 3.
Yeah, I missed a whole lot of stuff.
Season 2, let me tell you, back in my day, when I was playing, right, so when I started, you get in the jungle, because I started this game playing jungle. I don't know why, and I quickly stopped. But it was like, I remember I played Nocturne. Nocturne was the first champ I played in terms of an actual game outside of bots. And you try and do your blue buff, it will kill you. That thing will just absolutely fucking smoke you. But your mid laner can auto attack the blue buff 1 time. And what the blue buff does, there's no fucking leash range. It just follows your mid laner to mid lane. And it does not attack you. So you just sit there following the blue buff to mid lane, killing it. So that's what jungling used to be, and that's where leashes came from, because you actually just like could not kill your jungle if you didn't get a fucking leash. So
That's crazy.
yeah, those were the good old days. And then yes, you had to give your mid lane a second blue, otherwise they ran out of mana.
Oh man.
And if you didn't, on the Korean server, they ran it down mid. That was it. It was over.
Yeah.
The game was over because you didn't give blue buff to second blue buff to mid lane.
spamming champ select to lock your role, otherwise you're AFK.
True.
There was
True.
so many good times.
Reaction time test of typing mid.
I live in Perth, right? So I'm playing this on like 80 ping at the time. I never got mid lane. I never got to play Twisted Fate, man.
I get better ping to you than Oceania, but I was playing on NA. So
oh shit, you're old. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I hope
we
it
didn't
brings
even have a
back.
server back then.
Yes, exactly. I remember like back in the day, you'd load into screen to game, and it would show the ping of everyone in the loading screen.
Oh,
and so,
yeah, I've seen photos of that. Yeah.
And because I was jungling, so what I'd look out for is someone to have really high ping, and you just gank that guy on repeat. Because like sometimes you'd load in and some motherfucker's on like 500 ping, you just gank that guy. You know what I mean? Like just kill that guy. He's lagging, and that was the meta. That was awesome.
I think
and the old MMR system. Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
I think the thing that's gonna like put me off the most, which is weird because it's the most recent change, is the walls. I'm so used to the walls being where they are now that going back to where they were is gonna be just
but that shit changes every season.
Yeah, fair.
They literally just change the walls every season. Well, and you take a dragon, it changes the fucking walls.
Baron now changes the walls
these days. Yes, man, everything just changes the walls these days. They just change the walls for fun.
That sounds like a little block there and there. And...
No alcoves anymore.
Oh, though. No alcoves.
Oh, alcoves are gone. Remove the alcoves.
No. Oh, This is going to be... Are there still the base exits in between the lanes?
No. Those didn't exist. The one thing that, like, I don't know. I think how many games I've played since alcoves existed has to be over like 2,000. Like over 2,000 games. And outside of recalling in them, for no real reason, I just choose to do that there instead of a bush. I've probably used the alcoves like a total of 100 times. To be honest, like they are so insignificant to me. Yeah, there's no fucking point in using them, man.
Alcoves were added before COVID.
Yeah, I know that. I thought they were way earlier than that.
I thought they were like 2022.
Yeah, see, no, I thought they were like 2016. I thought they'd been there for fucking ages.
Oh my god, I feel so old.
But I barely use the alcoves, man. To be honest, like that's a really insignificant change. But there will be only 2 bushes in top and bottom. That's another thing. Oh, the good old days. Just 2 big motherfucking bushes. That's it. No little third one in the middle. No, 2 big ones. Nice.
I can't wait to try all the builds I only ever heard about in like Insta-Lock videos and
yeah,
be a glorious time.
DF Fire Touch, DFT.
Oh, I started playing the patch after DFT got removed, so I never got to experience it.
I mean, it's not going to be in there. It depends on what patch they use, but there used to be Feral Flare.
Oh,
patch 420.
Heard about that.
Patch 420 when Weedwick became the best champion in the game. Yeah, and it was the old Weedwick too, where he just presses R on you and teleports to you and one-shots you because Feral Flare made each auto attack do more damage. So he'd smite you and ult you and you'd die. You just, that was it, you'd die. Oh, patch 420. I'll never forget.
It's gonna be glorious. I can't wait. Yep. I can't wait to get into it. But I guess before we close things out as well, like we mentioned, we'll be co-streaming over the course of this weekend and pretty much all of the weekends up until the finals. You'll probably be co-streaming finals, I imagine, unless Bo flies you out. I'll be there in the arena.
Fly me out, mate.
Come on, come on, Bo.
I've only been overseas 2 times. This, it's supposed to be 3, but I called it off. I cannot be bothered going to Malaysia again. I'm supposed to go to Malaysia in like 2 weeks. I've said nope. No Malaysia.
Why not?
I've just been to Malaysia.
So?
And Singapore. I don't want to go there again.
It's got to be better than New Zealand.
It's not, to be honest. It's too fucking hot. And to be honest, it's like, I mean, it's just, I can't do much. I have no money. So it's not like I can go out and do anything. But I just like, it's kind of just yeah, nah. And the planes, I just can't be fucking asked with the planes, man. It's 12 hours every plane, and I've done 48 hours in fucking planes in the last month. I'm done with planes. And unless I get to go to Taiwan,
Yeah.
I'll take another 24 hours of planes. Hey,
Don't
I'll
even
take
worry
another
about
24 hours of planes. Yep. Yep.
Don't even worry
Give me
about it.
another 24 hours of that shit. I'm ready.
Yeah, we are ready. I will also be casting the Oceanic Champions League that's currently going on. Mabinogi's involved, Carrick's, Weapon, all the casters, all the players you know and love. There's like a 5,000 prize pool, except for this guy. He's not going to be casting. I will
Yep.
be traveling, Miro, to the LCP finals. I don't know if I'll be going to promotion yet. We'll have to see. That's in Vietnam. I've never been to Vietnam, so I might go along if everything is willing.
No, they don't allow people like you in the Vietnam, pal.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What does that mean?
Yeah. They've got strict security over there.
What does that mean, huh?
They don't fuck around. No, you get to the airport, there's people in army suits there, mate. You won't be
Why
allowed
would
in
that
that
be
place. I'm
banned?
telling you. I'm telling you. You wouldn't. They'll take one look at you and they're like, yeah, nah, nah,
They'll just turn me back
not
right at the
happening.
gate.
Yeah, back you go, bud. Back onto that Vietjet flight you came on.
Oh man. As long as
Back
it's
you
not
go.
Air Asia, I
If
got.
you're going there, no, Vietjet's worse than Eurasia.
Oh
I'm telling you
really?
now. Yeah, yeah, nah, that was fucked. You want to take Vietnamese Airlines, bud. You want to take
I
Vietnamese.
see. I
I'm telling
see.
you now. Take Vietnamese Airlines. I promise. I promise. Vietjet, no bueno. No bueno.
No bueno.
My
Okay.
airplane sounded like it was fucking falling out of the sky. It was the scariest flight I've ever been in my life. It was all sorts of banging sounds. And I was fresh out of hospital too. It was no good. It
Maybe it
was
was
no
just your
bueno.
like I don't know fever hallucinations going on. Have you ever thought
Nah,
about that?
nah, it was fucked. It was so fucked, man. We cannot be nah. No Vietjet. Vietnamese
Unless
Airlines.
they sponsor us for flights, and then
Like
we'll happily take Vietjet.
there's a reason why Kitty went to Vietnam on Vietnamese Airlines, man. I'm telling you that.
Yeah, but it's like 5 times the price.
And hey, it might be worth. Like I'm happy to take Vietjet because if the plane goes down, I'm all right with it. But you seem to enjoy living, so like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Vietnamese Airlines.
Okay.
Telling you now.
Maybe we'll have to see. Vietnamese Airlines, if you're listening, if someone there works there, think of us. Think of us. Maybe we can work something out. I'll have to see.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've
Yep.
we've been yapping on too long at this point. Maybe not long enough. We'll have to see. But thank you all for tuning in to the return episode of the Off Rift podcast. We'll be back next week for another episode to break down the first week of playoffs and see how things are going from there. And then, yeah, like I mentioned, it's another 5 weeks until the finals. So take care, everyone. We'll see you later.